SaaStr Insider webinar. We do these every Thursday. We've been somewhat rotating hosts lately, but yeah, I and the rest of the team SaaStr, bringing you the inside scoop every Thursday on all things events and sponsorships and partnerships and all that kind of stuff, all that jazz. Yeah, cool. Thanks for joining us this Thursday. Yeah, it's a very special Thursday in which, in case you didn't see any of our emails we sent out, let me get the exact number of days. Hold on, drum roll, please. It is neither of you drum rolls, so thanks for that.
I was ready. It was a silent roll. It was there. Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. Thanks. We're now 47 days away, officially from the start of SaaStr Europa. So it's coming up. I know. Yeah, so exciting. It's what did I say was the fifth SaaStr Europa? Yeah. Fifth. So we did a fifth. Yeah. 2 in Paris, 1 in Barcelona, 1 in London last year, and so now this will be the 5th one. So
it's the exciting high
five. Time. It's the 5th one. Yeah, it's exciting times. Yeah, if you didn't know the dates already, it's June 4th and the 5th. In London, we're back at the Tobacco Docks. If you were there last year, we do have that much larger SaaStr annual, the 10th one, coming up later this year at the San Mateo County Event Center at the Bay Area. So that'll be, we take over a massive 40-acre campus. But we thought we'd spend a little bit of time today on Europa, just because, the countdown is on, as they say. So we're just inching closer and closer to Europa. We have gotten a fair amount of somewhat late, but still on time conversations with folks lately. So that's why I figured I would have Brian and Waylon join just to share some of their takes on what they're seeing, what people are kind of interested in, share some of the vibe that they're getting already about Europa. But yeah, I think just a few things about Europa in general. Actually, maybe I'll flip back. So I'll try and keep it brief, but if you've never been to SaaStr Europa, I would say a big differentiation on the much larger SaaStr annual event is that SaaStr Europa, people love to network, like so much so that we have 2 networking lounges. We added a coffee lounge. There's now a VC lounge this year. There's a Founders Lounge that Roman's sponsoring. There's a pub that IBM is sponsoring. I'm sure I'm missing another lounge, but there's a lot of lounges.
There's the lounge for the lounge. There's a lounge's lounge. Yeah.
Within the lounge. Yeah.
Yeah.
The lounge within the lounge. So yeah, there's a lot of lounges, there's a lot of networking spaces. We did copy some of the style of annual of it being, indoor outdoor, over at Tobacco Docks. Listen, last year we had really great weather at Tobacco Docks. Hope for the same this year. So that you can enjoy kind of networking under clear blue sky, hopefully, kind of near the old ships. It's a historic building. It's kind of a fun place to be. It is in central London, so I think that helps too. I know a lot of people, take the tube or the train in. Lots of really great ways to get there if you're thinking about still coming. Other thing I'll say about Europa, and then I'll let the guys chime in on Europa, is a big differentiator I think that most people don't realize is that a third of our audience is still North America. So it is a very global event. People come from all over. There are a lot of folks from, London, the UK, as well as the rest of EMEA and Europe. That is a big presence of it, but a third of it is still, from North America. So bear that in mind. If you've looked at our speakers at all, which I'll just pull up for a second, but we've got a lot of really great speakers that, are coming from the States and everywhere all over, like CEO of Gong, Synthesia, lots of really great ones. Let me just scroll through here. The Notion, Canva, obviously our CEO and founder Jason Lemkin will be there. CEO of Gong, as we mentioned. Kylie, who's really great from IBM, everyone's favorite Londoner. Harry will be there. Of course, an OG SaaStr podcaster will be there. The founder of Stake will be coming in for this. Cloudflare, Dashlane, Visionaries Club, Excel, Synthesia, as I mentioned, Amplitude. She's coming from, I think, the Bay or New York. Lots of really great folks. MailChimp, Sam Blonde, former CRO Brex, longtime SaaStr, super fan speaker. Lucid, I'm like, these are such good ones. Klaviyo, Lightspeed, Braze. I'm like a lot of folks. Howard from who now started Rome was at Yext. He's going to do a workshop. That's going to be a good one. So yeah, I mean, so many really great speakers. If you haven't looked at the agenda, I just scroll through it like lightning speed, but really great folks. And you'll feel like a lot of those folks are coming and traveling in for this, like they're coming just for SaaStr. So yeah, I guess Waylon, maybe to you first and then Brian, like what's your kind of, as we're getting closer now to Europa, yeah, what are you seeing out there? What's the vibe that you're feeling?
Well, yeah, I'm just getting a lot of messages on LinkedIn of people who are interested in attending and chatting with a lot of people, connecting with a lot of people who are coming out to the event. I'm really excited about it. I think one of the great things here is that North American presence that's there. Every company, no matter what geography you're from, your VCs are going to push you to break through in the North American market. And I think it's a great opportunity for companies from Europe to do that. Even if you're not coming as a sponsor, like send some attendees. There's going to be tons of great people to meet there. The sessions are fantastic. And the after parties, things like that. Rome is hosting a really cool event for founders. So definitely check that out if you're a founder in the area.
I think the only other thing to say too is, and I'm sure we're going to get into this in a little bit here, but we've be considering just how impactful this event is and how many people we're expecting. We've opened up a few extra sponsorships that are going to be available, and I'm excited by them because in looking at what they are, I was like, oh man, they have some real high touch opportunity. So I just, I'm pumped for that as well. I think that at least as a sponsorship person, anytime I have a brand that gets to interact with an audience in a really impactful way is a good day for me. So that's yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, let's go a little bit into the floor plan here because a lot of this we'll start to talk about some of the ancillaries of what's left. Because to Brian's point, we did add a few. We added a few because some folks were asking for things that were, we do have a couple of booths left, which we'll get into, but a few folks are asking us maybe more so for like a branding and more of like an activation style play, just given the timeline and the countdown to Europa. So yeah, I'll kind of walk you guys briefly through the maybe mainly the upper level of the SaaStr Europa campus. It is 2 stories, so just bear that in mind. This is like the ground floor. I'm American, so I'm going to say upper level, but ground floor is 0. So, so yeah, a few things to call out here, and then a few things I'll say on the zoomed in version here, which has like the booths more zoomed in. Okay, so first of all, there is like a lot going on here, so I'll just try and give a rough overview of what all the colors and different shades of blue mean. Up here we have 2 stages, right? So our stage A, stage B, those are both up here. You'll notice and then I'll talk about brain dates, which is in 2 places technically. So we do have some of the brain dates in the pub that IBM is hosting. These are going to be the group brain dates, and then we have the one-on-ones and the super brain dates in a whole separate brain date lounge. So there's technically 2 places where you can brain date. One is like, we're calling it the pub featuring brain dates, and then there's an entire other brain date lounge. So like we said, we do a lot of networking at SaaStr Europa. So at annual, this is just like one spot. At Europa, we break this into 2. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I'm itching, right? Because like it's my favorite thing that we do on site in 4 years is our brain dates, and literally, I think it's nearly 80% of our attendance takes a brain date, does a brain date on site. It's something stupidly high.
Hit, right?
It's something stupidly high, and so why I'm itching, right, is because you can sponsor this. You can sponsor this, okay? You can put your brand here. You can actually engage. I'm almost yelling. You can actually engage with the people that are coming into these areas. Like, holy God, I know a lot of people are anti-booth that I've spoken with. Like, if you're an anti-booth marketer and you're trying to find a high impact way to engage the SaaStr audience, like, oh my God, it's right here. Come on. Okay, I'll stop.
That's why we put you in what looks like a soft cell room.
Bye now.
Yeah, I will say, the brain dates, right? It is 2 lounges. One of them is it's sort of already within a lounge in the pub, but there is another brain date. There's basically 2 lounges, right? One of them is within the pub that is sponsored by our good friends at IBM already, right? So they already have an activation there, but there is a whole separate brain date lounge. And I will say, as the overall brain date sponsor, I know it's a little confusing that there are 2 lounges, but you do get this whole lounge that is just completely brain dates because that is the main one. And then you do also get branding within the app, which I think is really great. Again, can't stress that enough, that like that is something that is the only way you could get that. I think folks have been asking us that lately of like, how do I get in front of folks like kind of pre-event? Well, listen, if you're the Brain Date sponsor, you, as soon as we launch Brain Date in 2 weeks, you start to get all that great pre-event promotional branding. So that's the really neat part of Brain Dates, is like you do get that digital component of it. We do email a lot about Brain Dates to our attendees to get that high hit rate of people who are participating in it. So that's also why I love it. In terms of like, you do get, you know, your logo on all those emails. You have the opportunity as the Brain Date sponsor to promote leaders from your company to do like super Brain Dates, which are like the big group Brain Dates that we moderate. It's a really great way to do it with or without a booth, right? Like you have your own lounge presence here. That is the Brain Date Networking Lounge. You've got the digital presence. You have it in the emails. It's why it's already taken for annual, right? To that degree, we do more Brain Dates. And we just added the secondary lounge to Europa for this reason, right? Because we wanted to try and maximize the Brain Dates. So yeah, it's a really great presence. The other thing I would just say on this area while we're staring at it here is for our top tier sponsors, so this will be, you can kind of see it more zoomed in here. So the diamond, the platinum, and the super gold, these are nestled in between what we're basing from last year are the two most highly trafficked areas. So you're right in between stage A and you're right in between the pub. This is great for so many reasons. There are still a couple ways we can add you to a super gold or platinum if you want to get in touch with Wayland or Brian here. Constant foot traffic, right? I also love these because they have space for activation. So each of these folks has an activation already picked out that they're going to do. Love this space. I can't think of a better space in an event where, like, you know, you're going to have literally constant foot traffic. There's also, you know, how we operate food and beverage and happy hours does take place in this central courtyard area, right? Obviously, with utilizing the pub. The pub does have beer, you guys. As a preface to the IBM team, maybe not at 8 o'clock in the morning. There's like cold brew and like I forget what I picked for breakfast, but whatever I picked for breakfast is in there, and like cold brew and like coffee. But there is beer in there too. You're like, it's a pub. I was like, yeah, just not at 8 in the morning. But there is beer in there, so just remember that if you're ever looking for something to drink, go to the pub. It might not be beer all day, but there's like iced coffee. I know there's like specialty beverages in there. There's food all day in there. It's a good vibe. We did the pub last year. It was really fun. We made it, we called it like Ye Olde Hexies, I think. So we'll have to think of a fun name with IBM Wayland to name the pub, but for the signage, I don't know, maybe something AI and Hexy, but that's a tangent for later. But yeah, anyways, just to call out while we're in this area, there is still, I think, one super gold and like one platinum that could still be added here. So if you guys want to take advantage of being in this highly trafficked area, let us know. I can't think of a better way to do it. It's fairly turnkey. You just send us your booth graphics. You can still pick an activation and you get built-in traffic. Like there's a way to hack an event. That's one way to do it, right? Just put yourself in one of the most highly trafficked areas. So pro tip there. Moving on from that, the other thing I'll point out is, yeah, we have like 3 lounges in a row here. So there's the Founders Lounge, which Rome is already sponsoring. The VC Lounge is very similar. So maybe Wayland, because you have already Rome sponsoring the Founders Lounge, do you want to tell folks about like the vibe, maybe what their goals are, and how it's similar for the VC Lounge?
Yeah. So, I mean, Rome had a ton of success with the Founders Lounge. I think what's so great about these lounges and why I've had so many conversations about them is that if your audience is founders or VCs or founders and VCs, you've got an audience that's not being distracted by any other sponsors. You're not competing with a BDR from the competition. Right. They're in a lounge. There's food and beverage all day. You're the only game in town when it comes to a sponsor to talk to. And you are able to participate in there. So have a couple members from your team in there. You know, it's a great way. I know like Rome at the lounge at annual for the Founders Lounge, you know, they got a ton of leads and they only want to talk to founders, and every single lead they talk to was a founder. So I think if you're a VC or you're a company that sells to VCs and founders, I know I've been talking to several. This was a late ad as well. So, you know, if we'd had this 4 months ago, it would be sold right now. But we just added this in the last week or so. So I'm excited because I think someone is going to want to take it for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it's true. We literally did just have this. We were like, okay, we've got a few spaces that because we made the Brain Date Lounge bigger, right? So we decided to make a bigger Brain Date hub, open that one up for sponsorships. It did move some of where we had Brain Dates last year. We decided to consolidate into one big lounge, and so that opened up for us to put some more of the lounges that work so well at Annual, right? Which the Founders Lounge worked well at Annual. We had a BC Lounge that was bopping. Listen, that was 2023 is the first time we did a like formal VC lounge on site. We kind of lightly did a Founders Lounge the year before, so I figured it was a good gamble for Howard and team at Rome. But yeah, that was the first time we did them more formally, and both lounges all day is the SaaStr, like bopping. Like in the early morning, people taking meetings. In the afternoon, people taking meetings. Like we literally had to put a doorman there because we were like, okay, there's too many people in the lounges. I mean, there's a doorman anyway because it is gated, right? So we have this point, like if you're going in any of those two, it is founders and like the Founders Lounge is founders and CEOs only. The BC Lounge is founders, CEOs, and investors only, right? And we do have doorman people there. Like it is something where, yeah, we literally bake this in to make sure it's gated and make sure, yeah, if that's who you're targeting, that's the way to get in front of just those folks during the event. But yeah, a late ad there. The other late ad we added was an Espresso Lounge, which I don't know how I came up with this. Someone will tell me if it sucks and we'll change it to something else. But the Espresso Lounge is kind of built off. Yeah, watch this go so well. I have to add one to Annual somehow. But yeah, we kind of use Europa sometimes as like a testing ground. So two of the lounges we added were a partner Brain Date Lounge and then an Espresso Lounge. But those are both new. These are ones that we're testing to see how they go for Europa to see if we want to bring them larger to Annual. But the idea of the Espresso Lounge was you take I'll just look through for a second. You take the traditional coffee sponsorship, which is already sold for Annual. You take the traditional coffee sponsorship of, you get, branded cups, barista, signage, all that nice stuff. And you turn it into a lounge, right? Like you do a hosted barista all day, you do specialty coffees, you print the logo on the foam, you have space in there where people can just hang out. It's a different area, right? Like if people want to come grab a coffee, grab a chat, as I like to say, I was like, why not upgrade it a bit and make it more into a lounge feel and type, right? So that's what we're doing here. We've upgraded it where it is that traditional coffee sponsorship plus the lounge area. So this also came from the want of, I know, to the guys' point, I know both Brian and Waylon are literally have contracts for the lounge right now.
We do.
Like we probably need one or two more. So we added the Brain Dates Lounge and then the Coffee Lounge. I was like, we probably need another lounge because one thing we've heard a lot from folks is that if it is especially last minute, they'd like to do some, or if they can't be there in person, right? Like Mercury sponsoring the one at Annual because they have their own like customer event going on at the same time, but they did it last year and they knew we could do it like turnkey for them at Annual without them having to send their entire team, right? So again, if you're in a very similar situation, same thing here for Europa. We turn it into a lounge, so you're the only exclusive sponsor of that coffee lounge, similar to the VC Lounge or the Founders Lounge. You are the exclusive sponsor of that lounge. It's coffee all day. Listen, I know people drink coffee at events, but I'll tell you it's after. People always tell me from a production standpoint, we drink much more coffee than any other event on planet Earth. So people will be going to get their coffee. This is the only place, the lounge is the only place you can get a specialty coffee, which if you're me, a specialty coffee or cold brew or bust. So people will be in here, right? All day getting their coffee, getting their rocket fuel. And it's a great way to just show up. You just send us your logo. You just send us your logo and send one person. That's all you got to do. That's the brilliant of it, right? You send us your logo. We put it on the cups. We put it on the barista shirts. And then you show up to the lounge. It's all branded, Coffee Lounge by whomever. And that's it. That's all you got to do. And then like send a person to engage with the folks who are drinking coffee. That is it. That is as easy as it probably gets to hack an event.
And that honestly, that's what's coming up in a lot of conversations. Yeah, well, people, they realize it might be too tight for them to come and do a full presence. But it's a way to kind of get in front of the audience. You can even still potentially do lead scanning with some of these activations as well. 100%. So you can still lead capture. It's not just like a pure branding play if you want to include that.
Yeah, that's right.
Not only that, but it's also, I would just add that, why do people come to the conference? Why are they there? And Obviously, we have great
For the
speakers.
coffee?
For the coffee, it's that good. We have great speakers, insane stages, right? We have great brain dates so they can go and do a workshop on different topics. But honestly, the networking is the real way to go and, bring your if you will, interactions to life. And I think that that's really what this is all about. So we add the lounges so that you have that opportunity to go and do that. It's way different than trying to engage someone at your booth if they're already there and they're having coffee and you're like, oh my God, I'm having coffee too. You put mocha in your coffee, right? Like it's just a different thing. So yeah.
Listen, I'm that person at Disneyland who combines hot chocolate with coffee to make a mocha because sometimes they don't have mocha at every location. So that's me. But anyways, we can swap coffee notes
Moving
another
on.
day. Moving on. Another thing I'll just say here, and then we'll go on to the other ancillaries that we added because I know we added a lot of them. The gold sponsorship. So just one note about that. To the point of booths, and right, we're spending a lot of time on activations because it's just what people have been asking us for lately. The booths and the gold booths are, sorry to flip around so much, I'll stay here for a second. The gold booths are right outside stage B, right? Right where the SaaStr swag booth is. So people are going to be going to redeem their SaaStr bucks. And right off the path of registration, we're like, you have to go this way to get to the stage over there. So again, insanely highly trafficked area. This is one of our most highly trafficked areas last year, actually. So we moved the sponsors for the gold from last year to this year, just having been in the venue last year. So you get all those great benefits of like, this was a better spot last year. Not that they weren't highly trafficked last year. This was just slightly more traffic. So we actually moved the gold here. A gold is an extremely turnkey, really great way to still get in front of our audience. It's turnkey branding. You brand the back wall, you brand the front here, and we do recommend you just do your logo on the front, right? So that's really one asset. You just have to give us, a logo and a color, and we can make it look like the Zendesk one. And you just have to do the back wall. Like that's all you got to do. The booths aren't due for another couple of weeks, so like you still have time to do this. Like we can factor it in with our, suppliers to make sure they can still make your booth. You have a guaranteed, lead scanning device. It is very similar price point, you'll notice, to the lounges, to everything we have on site. Also keep in mind that everything listed here is the list price, right? So talk to Brian or Waylon if you want to try and shake them down for something better. I mean, they'll just turn around and ask me, but
They're coming for you, Waylon.
Yeah,
They're
shake them down
you.
a little. So bear that in mind, but I do think, that's just one thing on the gold. There's literally two of these left. So there's two golds, one super gold, and one platinum. So that's what we have left. There's really plenty of time to do it. Like a lot of our sponsors are in the portal now. They're just starting to design their booths. You're not anywhere further behind than those. Maybe they booked their travel, right? Maybe they're a step ahead on who they're sending, but still plenty of time to activate at the show. Okay, last few ancillaries we added here for Europa, and then we'll stop droning on, and then I'll play a fun little game with you guys that at the end of this webinar that ties to Europa. So the last couple of days. So a few of these are sold, right? Lanyards sold. So our friends at Dialpad are doing the lanyards at Europa, an annual. Super cool. They're purple, which I love. It's very on brand with us and on theme for the purple we do for Europa. So love that. That's sold. The pub, as you guys know, that's sponsored by IBM. That's sold. Water bottles, probably have like a week or two to tell Brian or Waylon if you want to get, or anyone else, or David, right, that you want to get the water bottles because that does have a production deadline, but you can still be on the water bottles. These are co-branded. They're SaaStr on one side, your brand on the other. People need their water, right? So I don't know, I feel like that one's fairly straightforward. Again, you don't have to send anyone. It's fairly turnkey if you're looking for just like a branding opportunity to get in front of our audience. The VC lounge up for grabs for now. The coffee lounge, which we just added, also up for grabs for now. Registration. Didn't talk about this one yet. Love this one because you literally have to go through registration. Like this, that's the pitch, right? You have to go get your badge. Literally everyone, speakers, sponsors, CEOs, that great list of speakers I just rattled off at the top of the call. These people also have to go through registration, meaning if you are the right sponsor, they will see your brand. Like it is, they have to go through it. It's not like we give them like a special VIP, Uber drop off of their badge. They have to come get. for better or worse. So everyone, right? Speakers, sponsors, attendees, us, everyone will see your brand at registration. There's 2 registration points at Europa. There's one on each level because there's 2 levels, as you know now. I can't think of a better way to make a good first impression than to be the registration sponsor and get your brand literally in front of everyone that is coming through, and then out the doors, because it's out. The exit is also the same way as it's like exit through the gift shop. You have to exit the same way you entered. So that's not necessarily true at annual, but here it is. So I think it's a good way too, where you had everyone on their way in and also their way out. So yeah, guys, anything to add on Reg here?
Just that it's outside of Brain Date, it's my second favorite sponsorship.
Also, you can't claim it's your favorite because you've already claimed one.
Yeah, second favorite. It always is my second favorite because I think it's such high visibility, right? It's it's the highest actual visibility asset that you can do. A lot of sponsors will usually do something alongside this in terms of an activation for it. So whether that means that they're handing something out as like a come see us at the booth and you redeem this card for X, or we've even seen it be aligned with food in some way, shape, or form. And it just continues to drive your brand and the interaction of your brand and making it a positive interaction. And listen, food is a thing, right? Food is feelings. Okay. So when you are eating, you will have the feels. And then when you have the feels, you have the feels associated with that brand. And you can thank that brand for that wonderful acai bowl egg sandwich insert remedy here.
Burrito. Yeah, people said random. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, burritos, by the way, are the key to my heart. So there you are.
I'm gonna say with some authority that I think in all the menus I looked at, I don't think there was breakfast burritos anywhere on the. I think that's as much of a thing as it is beer, but yeah, they're similar options though, right?
Yeah.
So Waylon, anything else on Reg?
Well, I think the nice thing about Reg is literally you're the first brand they see when they come in, and you're the last brand they see when they leave. So you're getting, that recency bias, but you're also getting that can't remember the bias for the first thing that you see, but you're getting both of those.
Yeah, you're getting all the bias. Okay, 2 more and then a few others. So, okay, we already talked about Brain Days. So the other thing I'll say is happy hours. We do one of these each day. So you'll see it's on the agenda. So it does need to get added to the agenda. If you are either the exclusive or co-branded sponsor of happy hour. So there's one Tuesday, there's one Wednesday for those, keep a track. So 2 days, Tuesday or Wednesday, it's kind of straightforward here, 30K for exclusivity if you want it to be you during the happy hour, or 15K if you're like, I don't care if it's co-branded, somebody else, I can split it with somebody, and it's 15K for the co-branded. But it's cool, obviously people do stay for the happy hours at Europa. They are bopping, they're campus wide, right? So we put a lot of the bars are in the pub, but we do put up bars throughout the entire space, and turn it into like a bit of a party. So happy hour is straightforward, super easy to do. Again, you would just need to do your logo, and then similar here, like this was kind of cool. It's not listed in the lounges, but technically we do it too. But if you do take any of the lounges, Brain Days, etc., there is that opportunity to invite, some of your customers and prospects to meet you at your lounge and see you there. Same thing goes for happy hour. They want to come to happy hour. So I'm glad I had that bullet point there, so I didn't forget. Okay, last one. Wi-Fi. Everyone's got to get on the Wi-Fi. So I know some people are like, oh, but what if the Wi-Fi has issues? Listen, it's a conversation starter either way. You got to get on the Wi-Fi regardless. So I'll say that. So that's, again, straightforward. Lunch sponsorship, very similar to happy hour. Everyone's got to eat lunch, right? So very similar here. And then the last thing I'll say, there is the co-working space, which you guys probably saw on the map, which I'll flip back to, and then founders dinner, which I'll chat about. So I'm gonna flip back to the map. So the co-working space, there is a upstairs and a downstairs co-working space, which is huge. This, is not to scale, so it doesn't do it justice. But 2 co-working spaces. The sponsorship would be a sponsorship of both of those. So there's like a mini co-working upstairs and then the bigger co-working downstairs. This is fun. We've done this for a while now at SaaStr just because of our audience, right? Some people need a place to go work, take a phone call, co-work. It's like a mini WeWork, if you will, at SaaStr. A lot of people utilize the space, right? I can't think of times where I go by the co-working space and it's not, at least half, if not fully crowded, because people are are doing work in between, or digesting their notes or doing a quick Zoom with their teams. So lots of people use the co-working space. There is a stage down here as well. So the workshop stage is down here. So there's going to be tons of traffic that's going down here, up and down all day. That's kind of the theory. You go up, you go down. Yeah, co-working, really good last minute one. Okay, I know we're at the 9:30 mark, so I'm trying to keep it brief. Anything else just overall on Europa that I've missed that you guys want to add before we play our fun game and then wrap?
I literally of this whole boil down, right? Like the big thing, I was really excited about this week's sponsor webinar for one reason, and it was because there are a few really great options that can get you, like, it's beyond just the branding, it's like the ROI factor. And so take the time to dive in and look at it. And these aren't huge budgetary items. So if you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I can really afford that registration sponsorship, it's probably $1 million. Hint, it's not $1 million, right? Same thing on brain dates. It's not $1 million. In fact, if you have leftover Q1 budget, it probably could be the highest impact ROI thing that you could deploy in Q2. So take a look. It's worth the time to look at it. That's my only thing.
Yeah, I would just add, just because it's something that we didn't talk about on this call, but the audience that you're getting in front of SaaStr, it's a very senior audience. So roughly 56% of all attendees will be VP level and above. So these are decision makers. We've also seen huge rise in C-level execs, CFOs, the people who actually hold budgets. So if you're coming, send your execs. If you're coming as a sponsor, if you're coming as an attendee, there's going to be opportunities to network and connect with people who are in market for your solutions, and creating those executive connections is so critical right now when deals are tougher than they've been in a while, and deals always move faster and close at a higher rate when you've got that executive alignment.
Love it. Okay. And then just last fun thing we'll do, this will take 60 seconds to play this little game. I know there's a fair amount of people watching on the live stream. I think there's over 100 altogether. So you guys can drop it in the comments if you're watching on the live stream. So just one fun thing for Europa to wrap on is, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the tobacco dogs, but it has a literal pirate ship outside of it. It's not, I don't actually know why it's there, whatever. I think it used to be like an actual like shipping dock, hence tobacco dock. So yeah, there's like this actual pirate ship that just lives there. And it's cool because we do like this whole, actually flip real quick. Hold on. I'll flip real quick to our Europa video that we did so that you guys get a little flavor for this. Hold on. Switch to faster. I swear this will be worth it. Everyone's like, oh, why are you making a play for this? I'm just going to jump off your webinar now. But, okay, I found it. So we have this fun trailer we started that I'm going to mute. But can you see this video? I think you can see this video. So yeah, I'm showing you guys for YouTube. So yeah, tobacco docs, you saw it there. Let me go back. It has this cool like pirate ship out here. If you've never seen tobacco docs, it's a little bit more of what it looks like. It's a cool venue. It's a super, you can see it's like open air and stuff. Super cool space. But the point of this, if you've not seen this trailer yet, watch it all the way to the end. Go to our YouTube page. But there's this fun quote that our CEO and founder, Jason Lemkin, now famously said, because we use this, is that it's at the end of this video too. But basically everyone in SaaS is either a pirate or a romantic. So we're gonna do some fun things with the branding. That's why you see like our version of like a pirate map is on here. You'll see like this is the flaming heart for romantics. We're doing some of this cool like pirates versus romantic thing for some of our theming, just if you couldn't tell by some of the stuff you've seen now, like our campus map. That's also why it has like kind of like pirate-esque flags for some of the spaces. We think it's fun. I don't, if you got a venue that actually leans itself to it. And yeah, this quote happened to also be said at SaaStr Europa, so I think it all kind of ties together. Yeah, pirates are romantics. So fun game. Just if you're on social watching the live stream, tell us if you're team pirates or team romantics. We're also going to do this on site at SaaStr, so it'll be really fun. There's going to be like different photo ops if you're team pirates or team romantics. There's going to be different shirts if you're team pirates or team romantics. You can pick one. That being said, Waylon, we'll let you go first because you're not on mute. So lucky you. Would you say you are team pirates or team romantics?
feel like I'm a romantic pirate, but my wife would probably say pirate.
That's the answer. Yeah, I think everyone on our team is actually a little bit of both, to be honest. That's like a qualification for being on team SaaStr. You have to be a bit of both. Brian, which one would you say? I feel like I know what you are, but you can. Oh, did we lose him? Brian, are you
I think we
frozen?
did.
Oh no! Such a
He's all
sad
romance.
time. I know. I was like, he's romantic at heart. I feel like we know his answer.
Yeah, he probably just left to do something nice for his wife.
Well,
All right. Um. Oh, he's back.
I'm back. Did you hear what I said?
No, but I feel like, did we get it right? I feel like we guessed it right.
What was it?
We
Romantic.
guessed that you're romantic because yeah.
Oh, I feel like I'm a
Oh,
pirate. So now we're in the thing where
I
I
thought
think I'm a
about
pirate,
that.
but everyone thought that it was romantic. It's actually interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, okay. The
Both
game on. I'm
Waylon and
good with
I
that.
said
Yeah,
you
yeah.
would be romantic.
Yeah, very interesting. Okay, I like it. I like it. Good.
All right. All right, friends. Yeah. If you're on social, thanks for chiming in there. If you're team pirates or team romantics. Anyways, this will just be a little bit of fun that we have at Europa. You can you can either pick what your teammates call you as your identifying team of team pirates and team romantics, or you can go with what you self-identify as. Either way, it's fun. We're gonna do some fun stuff with it. You'll start to see. So we're gonna make our speakers. Well, not make them, but we're gonna ask our speakers to pick what team they're on. So yeah, it's gonna be just like a fun thing we're doing. So now as the countdown is on, we're starting to pump up our theme a little more because it's a little fun to add to the 5th ever SaaStr Europa. It's just like a fun kind of insider SaaStr thing of like, a quote our CEO said at SaaStr Europa that we're now using as a theme for the next SaaStr Europa. So little insider baseball, but I do think the quote is true. So that all being said, guys, how can folks get in touch with you if they want to participate in SaaStr Europa coming to London in less than 2 months?
Yeah, you can reach me
Well,
on LinkedIn. Oh, sorry, I saw you unmute there, Brian. So you can reach me
go.
on LinkedIn, Waylon McGill, or email Waylon, that's WAYLON @SaaStrInc.com.
And I'm Brian. You can get me at Brian at SaaStrCo.com. SaaStr Co. He's Inc. I'm Co. Don't ask questions. It's fun. And or you can get me on LinkedIn. I'm there. I'm loud. Just type Brian SaaStr. I will pop. That'll be the first thing you'll see. So there you go.
All right. As always, if you guys want to reach me, I'm AI@SaaStrInc.com. Basically anything you say to Brian or Raylan will probably also get said to me, so that works too. And thanks for watching. Hopefully this is a fun one. We're gonna have a little fun with our Europa theme. And we'll see you next week. We're announcing a digital event next week, which these guys already know about because I announced it to the internal team. But you might see it on social media before Thursday, but we're gonna formally announce it at the next sponsor webinar. Another digital event. It's gonna be a good one. So yeah, see you back here next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.